If you're parenting in your 30s, 40s, or beyond, you've probably had this thought, I didn't grow up with this. The apps, the slang, the constant online world, the intensity around school and activities, it can feel like you're raising kids on a different planet than the one you came from. Today, we're talking about effective parenting for this generation when you're a parent over 30, without trying to pretend you're 20 and without giving up and saying, well, I just don't get it. Because that gap between how we were raised and what our kids are growing up in can make parents feel behind before they even start. But the good news is you don't need to be up on everything. You need to be steady, curious, and willing to learn in public. Let's start there. One of the biggest traps for parents over 30 is thinking you have to win at modern parenting by becoming a tech expert or a culture expert. But effective parenting isn't about being the coolest person in the room. It's about being the safest person in the room. Your kid doesn't need you to know every game, every influencer, every trend. They need you to be a calm place to land. And that's actually one of the strengths older parents often bring: more patience, more perspective, less panic. So the first big idea, lead with connection before correction. When something comes up, maybe your child is glued to the phone or they're talking in a way that surprises you, or you find something online that worries you, your first move matters. Instead of jumping straight into, give me that, absolutely not, start with, help me understand what I'm looking at, or walk me through how this works. It changes the entire conversation, and it signals something crucial. I'm not afraid of your world, and I'm not ashamed of you for being in it. That's when kids keep talking. Let's talk about tech because it's the elephant in every living room. If you're over 30, you likely had at least part of childhood without smartphones. Your kids, they're growing up with the internet as a background noise of life, which means our approach can't just be ban everything or let them figure it out. Effective parenting sits in the middle, structure plus coaching. Structure looks like rules, device-free meals, screens off at bedtime, age-appropriate apps, and clear expectations. But coaching is the part many families miss. That's you helping them interpret what they see. You're not only limiting time, you're teaching judgment. Like when you see a video that makes you feel bad about yourself, what do? Or how do you know if someone online is safe? You're building a skill, not just enforcing control. And if you're thinking, okay, but I don't even know what they're doing on there, here's a practical move. Ask your kid to be the teacher for 10 minutes a week. Not an interrogation, a tour. You can say, show me the 3 things you like most about this app. And then, what's something on here that's annoying or stressful? That second question is where the truth lives. Let's go to the emotional side. Parents over 30 often carry a lot: jobs, aging parents, financial pressure, maybe regret or missed moments. Maybe you're trying to do parenting right because you didn't love how it was done for you, and that can turn into a hidden pressure. I'm older, so I should be better at this, but parenting doesn't work like that. Your kid doesn't need perfection, they need repair. Repair is huge. When you mess up, when you lose your temper or dismiss their feelings, the most modern, effective thing you can do is come back and say, I didn't handle that well, I'm sorry, can we try again? That's not weakness. That teaches accountability, emotional regulation, and respect, and it lowers the temperature in the house over time. Another key point, don't confuse obedience with maturity. A lot of us were raised to be good by being quiet, compliant, and not causing issues. But kids today are encouraged to express more. That isn't automatically disrespect. Sometimes it's skills they haven't learned yet, so instead of stop talking back, you can aim for, I want to hear you and I need you to say it respectfully. That's a coaching moment, and boundaries still matter. Being connected doesn't mean being permissive. Effective parenting is warm and firm at the same time. Let's make that concrete. Warm and firm sounds nice, but what does it look like at 7:45 a.m. when everyone's late? It looks like, I get that you're upset. We still have to leave in 2 minutes. You can put your shoes on, or I can help you put them on. Which do you choose? Notice what's not in that sentence: a lecture, a threat, a whole courtroom case about why shoes matter. It's calm leadership. Another modern pressure point is mental health, anxiety, burnout, social comparison. Kids are dealing with a lot earlier. As an over 30 parent, you might be tempted to say, you're fine when I was your age. And that instinct is understandable, but it often shuts kids down. A better approach is validating the feeling without guaranteeing the fear. So instead of, there's nothing to worry about, try, that sounds really heavy. Tell me what part is the worst. Then after they talk, let's figure out one small next step because kids don't need us to erase discomfort. They need us to teach them they can survive it, name it, and move through it. Now let's talk about something parents over 30 are constantly negotiating: time. The math doesn't math. Work, household, school emails, practices, meals. Where does quality time even go? Here's the reframe. Connection doesn't require huge blocks of time. It requires consistency and attention. 10 minutes of focused presence can beat 3 hours of half listening. A simple strategy: build small rituals. A 2-minute check-in at bedtime, a short walk with no phones, a weekly pick the music drive, a Saturday morning breakfast where you ask one question: what's something you want me to understand about your week? And the best part? Rituals are predictable. Kids relax when they know they'll get you again, even if the day was messy. Let's address respect because a lot of parents over 30 were raised with, because I said so. And look, sometimes you do need quick compliance for safety. But day to day, respect works better when it's mutual. Mutual doesn't mean equal authority. It means modeling the behavior you want. If you want your kid to calm down before speaking, they need to see you do it. If you want honesty, they need to watch you tell the truth even when it's inconvenient. And if you want them to listen, it helps to practice listening to them in low-stakes moments, like when they're telling you a long story about a game or a show and you're tempted to drift. Those moments are actually training for the big conversations later. The kid who feels heard about small stuff is more likely to talk about the scary stuff. Now, what about the generational gap itself? Sometimes kids will say things like, you don't get it, or you're old. That can sting. But you can respond without getting defensive. You can say, you're right, I didn't grow up with this. That's why I'm asking. I want to understand you. That sentence is powerful. It turns the gap into an invitation instead of a fight. Also, being over 30 means you bring real advantages. You've lived through consequences. You've seen relationships change. You understand money differently. You can offer long-term thinking in a short-term world. And that's a gift to your kid. They're not just learning how to be a student or a teammate. They're learning how to be a person. Your steadiness can become their inner voice later. Let's do a quick set of practical takeaways, things someone can try this week. Number 1, ask one curiosity question a day. What was the best part of lunch? Who made you laugh today? What was awkward? Keep it light but consistent. Number 2, set one tech boundary and explain the reason. Not a long lecture, just the why. Phones charge outside bedrooms because sleep matters, then hold it calmly. Number 3, practice repair. If you snap, circle back. 2 sentences can change the whole emotional climate. I'm sorry, I was overwhelmed. Let's try again. Number 4, create a micro ritual. 10 minutes of a game, a shared show, or a quick nightly chat. Put it on the calendar if you have to. And number 5, focus on skills, not just behavior. Don't only ask, did they obey? Ask, did they learn? Emotional regulation, problem solving, empathy, digital judgment, those are lifelong wins. If you're listening and thinking, I'm over 30 and I'm behind, you're not behind. You're here, and your willingness to adapt is the whole point. Parenting today isn't about having all the answers. It's about staying connected while you figure it out together. Your kid needs you to be steady, not perfect. And if you only remember one thing from this episode, let it be this: you don't have to live in your child's world to lead them through it. You just have to keep the door open. That's it for today. If this topic hit home, think about one small change you'll try this week and stick with it long enough to see it work. We'll be back with more practical conversations like this soon.